Hey guys, what is up? Sora here, and today we're going for the hard stuff. Today we are going to be breaking down one of the hardest infinites in the game. Yes, I am talking about that infinite, not that infinite, but rather the mid-screen Morrigan Infinite. This has been made famous by RyanLV, who is a top player in Marvel right now. He has used this in top 8s, and I'm here to tell you guys that it can be consistent, it can be done. There wasn't a lot of video tutorials that were going over this infinite as I was trying to learn it myself. But I aim to rectify that today by giving you guys everything that you need to know about this infinite. Let's get started. First things first. Number one, this will be a live tutorial, meaning that while yes, I might edit the video down the line, you guys are seeing these portions of the video as I'm doing it, as I'm talking to you guys. Number two, this video does assume that you already know how to do the basic Morrigan Infinite. If you guys do not know how to do the corner infinite, I will be linking to some links in the description to teach you guys how to do this. So, if you guys don't know how yet to do that, learn that first. That is very important, absolutely necessary in order for you guys to do the mid-screen thing. Okay? I will be going over how to do it from upside and down, and this is fairly simple because it's the same exact motion as the corner infinite, meaning that you just have to dash right after Morrigan tags in. So, for example, up is just literally as Morrigan tags in, just press dash once. Press, not hold. Just press dash and she'll cross up, and then as you fall down you do heavy punch into heavy fireball. That will prop them up, go into the down dash, and go to infinite from there, which I'll explain later. The side version is also the same. Oops. See, doing this live, very important. Nope, too low. The normal height restrictions apply here. Where you want to do it as low to the ground as possible without being underneath the height restriction of the dash. As you saw there, the first part I did mess up because I knocked Doom a little bit too low. With Doom, there's a certain height. For smaller characters, for floating characters like Wolverine, you're going to hunt for another height. Again, I can't really go over that, otherwise this will be a 30-minute video easily. Long story short, the same way that you train the corner infinite is the same way that you train the startup of these infinites. Does that make sense? Moving on. Okay, so we're heading into the meat of the video itself, which is how to do the down infinite starter as well as the meat. The reason why I did it this way is because the down infinite by far is the most consistent. That's common with every infinite, but for this particular one, consistency is very key. The other thing I should mention before going further is that this is something that RyanLV did as recent as CEO. He sent this video to me of him doing it. This is his idea. I do not take credit in making this infinite as consistent as it can be, okay? So what RyanLV did at CEO is something like this. Okay, so that's a start. There's a few elements that I'm going to break down one by one from that particular sequence. First and foremost, after you hit the opponent, you immediately press up dash. Like that. Same thing as the other infinites happened so far. The second thing is that as soon as she reaches the complete half circle of her U jump, long story short, that is when you press H. H into H starter. Okay, and then you fly cancel. The last part is after you fly cancel, you wait just a little bit, and this will differ by weight of the character. But for doing weight, you just wait just a little bit in order to down dash, and then press H at the bottom of your dash in order to end up at the other side. I'm actually going to complete the loop at this time, because after that it's basically the same thing as the Morrigan corner Infinite. Oops, maybe too high. See, you have to wait a little bit further.
Sweet.
See, you guys get it? Like you, after the fireball, wait, then down dash H. Now, after the down dash H into the fireball, the goal is for you to cross up every single time. So you are doing reverse fireballs for every single repeat motion of this loop. Okay? Next, we're going to go over the loop itself. Loop mechanics. There are two basic mechanics and fundamental mechanics for this infinite. Number one is the rhythm, and number two is the height control. I will be explaining both in this part of the video. As far as the rhythm is concerned, that one is fairly easy to showcase. What I'm about to do is, after I go over the start of the down infinite, which I showed you earlier, I'm going to immediately press up forward LMH with Morrigan, wait for a long time, and then H fireball going back to the start. If that makes sense. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so that is how the sequence works. Now, the trick with knowing when to fireball is probably the most difficult part of this rhythm exercise, and the visual cue that I use is when Morrigan is about to fall after the LMH. So you press up forward, LMH, and after that H, she's still rising. As she starts to fall down, that is when you throw the fireball. Okay? So that is point number one, rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. Point number two, it is height control. Especially, okay, let's actually bring him up. Virgil, surprisingly, is one of the harder, more stricter characters to do this infinite against. It's because the way his hurt box works doesn't allow for, once he falls at a certain height, the infinite is already impossible to do. And that height restriction is far stricter than it is with Doom. So it's actually important to keep height control this time. You don't want to make them too high, that where the down dash H will whiff, but you don't want to make them too low where you push them out of the falling H's hurt box too much. Let me try, this is the trickiest part, but let me try to show you what I mean. So, as I'm doing this, I'm making a point to hit the fireball on Virgil's boots, on the top of Virgil's boots. And as I kept doing that, you notice that he kept going higher and higher. The way you counteract that, if you want to make them lower, you throw out the fireball much later. So rather than aim for the top of his boots, you would aim for like a little bit just below his knee. Let me show you the difference. I will intentionally drop it to show you the difference of the height. That would be too high, number one. Number two, this would be too low. See, that would be too low. There's only a few frames of difference there where you're allowed to get the proper height control, but if you notice the opponent is going too high, here's the rule of thumb. If you notice the opponent is going too high, throw the fireball later than you normally would. If you notice the opponent is going too low or about to drop, throw the fireball earlier than you normally would. It is also very important here that you do not change the timing of the LMH at all. You can, but I do not recommend it because you want to only control one variable at a time. If you get really good with this infinite, then sure, mess around with it. You could even do something like that. You could mess around with it. You can get really creative with infinite, where you space the buttons out rather than doing it all at once. But by far, doing it all at once is the most consistent way I've done it, and it is also the way that Ryan does it. So take his word for it, not mine. Now I'm going to go over a few last core things here before we wrap this video up. Third is I want to leave you with a little bonus, which is the corner carry variation of this infinite. It only works. The reason why it's a bonus is because it only works against a handful of characters. The middle height weight characters, I should say. Hawkeye, Doctor Strange, Spencer, Doctor Doom. That height weight. And it's because of that infinite works, which is like 7. Air combo. So that's pretty simple, right? The sequence is just LMH, as you normally would with a Midscreen Infinite, but you throw the M fireball rather than the H. And this is very handy if you want to save the Midscreen Infinite from dropping, and you're doing it on a Hawkeye or a Spencer, where you can just, okay, they're honestly too low to the ground, let me switch to this other Infinite. I've actually done that in a match before. It is really handy in those kind of like, oh, please don't drop situations. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys again for watching. This has been Sora. Catch you guys in the next tutorial video.